definitely. Greenhouses could maintain plant life. Animals could be bred and slaughtered.
Now I am become death, destroyer of worlds.
Minus 1 minute. Put on your goggles. Observers without goggles must refrain from the blast.
One plane, one bomb, one city. One plane, one bomb, one city. One plane, one bomb, one city. One plane, one bomb, one city.
Fallout from atomic explosions. Every nuclear or thermonuclear bomb throws into the air a large cloud of radioactive particles. These man-made radioisotopes remain aloft for varying periods of time, but most of them eventually return to Earth. It is this return which is known as fallout. Minus 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Now I am become death, destroyer of worlds. Now I am become death, destroyer of worlds. One plane, one bomb, one city. One plane, one bomb, one city. One plane, one bomb, one city. One plane, one bomb, one city.
Fallout from atomic explosions. Every nuclear or thermonuclear bomb throws into the air a large cloud of radioactive particles. These man-made radioisotopes remain aloft for varying periods of time, but most of them eventually return to Earth. It is this return which is known as fallout. Minus 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Animals could be bred and slaughtered.
Well, we are back and on the air. It looks like supernatural forces have been working against us and delaying this show. We don't have Van tonight. He's got some video related things, but hopefully we'll have some good news and he'll share that what he's been working on behind the scenes with Ricky Doo and the Fish Tank crew. So it looks like there was another attempt on Trump's life, and at this point, I don't care if this was staged to help his tanking polling numbers or not. The would-be attacker was quickly dispatched, and all conservative docket heads got their script to push that what they needed to finish the White House ballroom, or bail room, if you will, depending on your views of who really runs this country. And it took Anime PsyOp about an hour to crank out another video based on these events. And it's amazing how quickly they can animate one of these events. Now, I got an image I'm going to put up on the screen. And it's all the talking heads from the conservative side of things on Twitter, all posting the same script about how we need to get this ballroom pushed.
Yeah, that's it's not like tighter security or anything. They definitely switched to ballroom.
And I feel like this is like a psyop, to push this, to get money for funding, I mean, I'm not saying that this guy didn't try attempt to assassinate Trump, but the way he got past the guards, I think what was it, 8 of them or something? He just sprinted past them and they didn't really react quick enough.
There was a lot of them, and I saw a clip, and at once there's a guy with a dog, it looked like, went to the doorway of the room that he exited from and turned back, doubled around, so like looking at the doorway a second time as he sprints out. So it's like, what what was going on with like the security there? And then you saw like a ton of the other security guys, like instead of like instinctively acting, they just like stand there with a surprised Pikachu face.
Well, I saw like was it one of those Oblivion loading screen, like memes where they had the guy
Oh,
dashing past, and it
yeah.
was like perfect, and most people didn't get the joke, or the reference where it came from, and it has me thinking, you know what? Remember when all those people were trying to Naruto run in Area 51?
Yes,
I
I've
don't
seen
think
the
they would have been
Naruto run
stopped.
memes.
I think they would have been successful because a bunch of guys are doing something similar, and they're like rushing into like the Church of Scientology and seeing how far they can get into the building and mapping out. It's fucking hilarious, man, and I'm all
So
about it.
like 12-year-old me was right that Naruto running is the key.
So we've got an interesting caper going on in Europe. Kit Kat is asking for the public's help after thieves made off with 12 tons of the company's chocolate, prompting the launch of a new tracking tool to help locate the missing shipment. So the brand owned by Nestle announced the theft in the March 28th statement. The company said 413,793 bars vanished after leaving a factory in central Italy en route to Poland, where they were set for distribution across Europe. Now, fans were demanding that we've always encouraged people that they have to break with Kit Kat, and sometimes the thieves have taken the message too literally and made a break with more than 12 tons of the chocolate. A Kit Kat spokesperson said at the time, there's no indication that U.S. consumers are affected by this, as the stolen shipment is bound for European markets, according to the company. So customers are encouraged to visit Kit Kat's online tracker to check that their products have came from the stolen shipment. Like, I don't think anybody gives a shit, about that.
No, at all. Like if whenever I buy anything, like I don't check like the product number or whatever on it. So it's like, hell, I could be using things in my house that were recalled.
Usually, I find out about the recalls when they're too late. And
Hmm.
I've got metal bits and shards inside of me, when they do something like that with boar heads. They did a recall a while back, and I kept eating it. An internal affairs investigation by the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office found that Brandy Tenlin, a former deputy, was selling pictures and videos of her feet online, including during work hours while wearing her uniform. So investigators said Tenlin operated a paid fetish account on feetfinder.com, not a sponsor. A website
Wait,
used to buy or sell
feet
custom foot
finder
content,
dot-
which made roughly $6,000 in the process. The investigation into Tenlin began in July 2025, according to the reports. And some of the content included Tenlin wearing a lingerie and a martial arts uniform while performing erotic poses. The report also said that the post called Smelly Boot Removal, in which she is seen in uniform and asking anyone who wanted to guess her profession while slowly removing her boots and socks and waving her handcuffs. Another post labeled as Ain't Life a Kick in the Head showed Tinlin in a black karate fork repeatedly kicking a man in the face and genitals and then using her feet to massage the area afterwards. Investigators say they were able to identify her due to her showing her face and her distinctive foot tattoos. According to the PBSO, the Tinlin resigned from her position during the investigation, and in a statement, the spokesperson for the PBSO wrote in the part that the actions of Deputy Brandy Tenlin were identified, thoroughly investigated, and determined to be clear of violations of our agency's policies and procedures. The report also shows that she was using the account during work hours and used sick time to fill the content for him. I think they're more pissed off about someone using sick time than they are
Yeah,
of
it's
actually getting foot, fetish stuff out there while in
or like
uniform.
using work time for like a side hustle. That's
Right.
what they're mad about. They're not mad that she's a fucking degenerate posting foot pics.
Yeah, they're probably not mad about her having a following either. They're just mad that she used her sick time. An unhinged Australian woman managed to slug 3 liters of vodka and has been slapped with criminal conviction after she glued googly eyes on a massive sculpture during her drunken stupor. Amelia Vanderhorst, who was also high on MDMA at the time, was convicted on Tuesday of defacing the $95,000 statue nicknamed the Blue Blob in Mount Gambier last year. So Vanderhoost, who was age 20, was nabbed after posting the video on social media of herself using super glue to stick the eyes on the sculpture. So the drunken quickly went viral, sparking complaints from the local government. And at her sentencing hearing, her lawyer said that she just only wanted to make the sculpture look funnier after seeing similar viral stunts. So the Mount Gambier City Council coughed up nearly $3,000 to repair the statue, according to the cops. And under her plea deal, Vanderhoort was ordered to pay $1,300 or $2,000 Australian dollar fine and complete 60 hours of community service. You know, it probably wouldn't have taken that long to get the super glue off. All you gotta do is heat it up and it'll just melt again.
Yeah, it's
Or you could just
like,
scrape it off.
not
Like,
that hard at all.
You can use a plastic scraper to get that off, you know, without damaging the work of modern art that actually looks like shit, you know. So, there's been a series of concerning deaths and disappearances involving scientists and researchers with ties to U.S. national security, aerospace, and defense projects has emerged since mid-2024. The reports of April 2026 indicating that at least 8 or 9 individuals have been affected. Now, the individuals are linked to institutions including NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, or Los Alamos National Laboratory, and the Air Force Research Laboratory. So here are the key individuals and cases. So Monica Jacinto Reza, she's a senior aerospace engineer and technical fellow at the Aerojet Rocketdyne. She went missing on June 22nd, 2025 after reportedly going for a hike. Melissa Casillas, she vanished on June 26, 2025 after last being seen walking alone and having reportedly dropped her husband off at work at Los Alamos National Laboratory. Anthony Chavez, he's a staffer at the Los Alamos National Laboratory who vanished without a trace in May of 2025. Major General William Neil McCaskill, a retired Air Force general who vanished on February 27, 2026, near his home in Albuquerque, New Mexico. We have Carl Grillemeier, a Caltech astrophysicist involved in NASA's NEOWISE and NEO-Surveyor projects. He was shot dead at his California home on February 16, 2026. We have Nuno Loureiro, a MIT plasma fusion scientist who was found killed in his home in December of 2025. We have Jason Thomas, a Novartis chemical biologist who vanished in December 2025. His body was found in a lake on March 17, 2026. We have Frank
Did
Mywald.
they give any details?
They didn't really say like what exactly he was working on or the condition of his body.
Well, I mean, like the details of his death, or have they learned after the he died from working out or suicide from 2 bullet holes?
Yeah, they didn't really get that information, unfortunately. I don't know why they're like being quiet on some of these. You got Frank Mywald, a researcher at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, died in 2024. Now, the reports indicated his death occurred without an autopsy or a public cause of death, which sounds very suspicious. We've got Michael David Hicks, a research scientist at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, whose death in July of 2023 was recently linked to this pattern. We have Amy Eskeridge. So this is the recent one that a lot of people got, you know, it got the attention online and people on social media. So she's an anti-gravity researcher who co-founded the Institute for Exotic Scientists. She died in June 2022 while being officially ruled a suicide, and her death was resurfaced as part of a broader investigation due to allegations that which she made about harassment. She also claiming that on video she went missing. It wasn't a suicide, you know. So here's details and concerns. Roger Adams invented the Heelys in 1999. And he created the popular wheeled sneakers after being inspired by his parents' roller skating rink and desired to merge walking and gliding. He patented the design featuring removable heel wheel and launched the company in 2000. Adams passed away on March 24th of 2026 at age 71. Now, so
Oh man, rip to a king.
Yeah.
I've been looking at getting some adult Heelys actually, like no lie.
I've seen people putting them into like their military boots and shit. And there's like a chick who's making a kit for them so people can like have it done. And I'm thinking these are people that are like non-essential personnel who work in supply or something like that and have nothing to do all day.
Yeah,
But,
well, for me, that's a fad that I never got into as a kid. But now that I'm an adult with disposable income, I can make all the unwise financial decisions.
Let's go gambling. So pattern of disappearances. Several cases involved individuals last seen walking alone, leaving behind personal items and having no sign of a struggle. High clearance accidents. The scientists were engaged in specialized research, including nuclear fusion, exotic materials, and advanced surveillance technologies. The investigated gaps or observers had noted a lack of public information, missing autopsy reports, or a lack of leads, raising concerns about the potential targeted actions or foreign intelligence involvement. And the official response was the Bernalillo County Sheriff's Department, New Mexico, had confirmed that they were investigating potential connections between these incidents. Now, one of them they were talking about, like they came up with a new alloy using nickel for like rocket plating, like exterior skins. And another guy, I forgot the exact dude he was working on, but he was using some kind of infrared scanning technology to look for exoplanet stuff. So you would aim like these lasers up in the sky, and you're scanning for like asteroids or like meteorites and shit for like a defense system, to shoot them down, kind of thing. So all of these things, just seem to be like all sort of linked, like, maybe compartmentalized. It doesn't seem like a big thing, but that maybe if there's a certain way you can configure all these technologies together, it might make something very interesting. Think about it that way. And then probably like a few hours after I had done this research 2 weeks ago, an Air Force veteran who agreed to testify before Congress about secret government UFO programs died just months before the hearing of an accidental drug overdose. The Post had learned that Matthew James Sullivan, age 39, died in his home in Falls Church, Virginia on May 12, 2024 from a lethal mix of alcohol, alprazolam, cyclobenzaprine, and imiprime. So according to the Northern District Office of the Chief Medical Examiner, this alprazolam is a generic Xanax, an anti-anxiety medication. The cyclobenzaprine is a powerful prescription muscle relaxant that works on the central nervous system. And imiprine is a drug that children are used to treat anxiety and bedwetting. So I don't think this guy was like a chronic bedwetter. I'm just gonna go with that. But with like the mysterious death of grave concern to Representative Eric Burleson of Missouri, who referred to the matter for investigation to FBI due to implications for national security, according to a letter obtained by the Post. He's quoted as saying that the Mr. Sullivan's death was a local Virginia medical examiner case, and the matter of circumstances of his death raised substantial questions as he was preparing to provide testimony to Congress. So on April 16th, a letter addressed to FBI Director Kash Patel read that the sudden suspicious circumstances surrounding his death raised significant concern about the potential foul play and the safety of other individuals involved in the matter. So Sullivan was part of the so-called Legacy UFO program, the U.S. government's crash retrieval program that operated for decades in the shadows across several executive branch agencies, the sources had told the Post. And Sullivan had personally seen UFOs in the federal government's possession and would have exposed the Legacy program at a congressional hearing on November of 2024, according to sources. Now, here's another thing people are trying to link to it, but I don't think it is. But we'll put his photo up so people can see what he looks like. That's the wrong photo. But we'll get this guy out. And you've probably seen him before if you've watched Ancient Aliens. So David Wilcock was known for his appearances on the History Channel's Ancient Aliens show, along with other extraterrestrial content creation. He died at age 53. Now, he was involved in an incident with police response in Boulder County, Colorado on Monday, when emergency services dispatched officers over speculation that he was having a mental health crisis. Now, deputies arrived at 11:02 a.m. and made contact with the male outside a residence who was holding a weapon. And within minutes of deputies' arrival, he used the weapon on himself. He was pronounced deceased at the scene, according to the report. Now, his wife left him back in 2021, and there had been allegations of her making porn, the kind where she's giving women instructions on something called a yoni cleanse, where they would stick a cucumber up their vagina and cleanse themselves somehow. And David Wilcock was starting to dress in his ex-wife's clothing. And I'm starting to wonder if he was getting on hormones and going down a certain path of changing his gender. He was a QAnon plan truster and believed the Galactic Fetter of Light were going to help us. He claimed that the reptilians are flying 2-mile-long ships in low Earth orbit that were blocking our mental abilities, and that the U.S. government had figured out how to shoot them down but were afraid of our mental awakening. And just a reminder about something that was memory old. So the man who identified as the Cybertruck Bonner, the Matthew Livelsberger, you know, the guy who drove the Tesla truck and blew himself up at a Trump hotel in Vegas? Well, he claimed in his manifesto that advanced gravitic propulsion systems, which is this anti-gravity technology deployed by the U.S. and China, could cause World War III. And he alleged that these systems were being used in secret drones in the tech that created mutually assured destruction situations.
Yeah, so he was getting a little too close to what they're planning and
Yeah, I had like a
reveal
video
their
clip
secrets.
that I posted on Twitter where he's talking about the reptilians, and I was like, no, I don't think any like a government agency or some other like nefarious country was like shutting them up. You know, I think it was the reptilians shutting him down because he was just telling the truth too much. You know, but I'm not a fan of the guy. I just think he was like a grifter. You know, and he worked on that Gaia project and stuff like that. Now, there are guys in the UFO community, I think they're rock stars like Giorgio Tsoukalos, but you notice the later seasons of Ancient Aliens, they don't use him on there because, you know, frankly, Ancient Aliens just didn't want to pay the guy more. You'll see him in the older episodes, you just don't see him in the newer shit. A southern Wisconsin mother allegedly killed her teenage daughter to protect her from Elon Musk. According to a criminal complaint, Taisi Oniski was accused of stabbing a 14-year-old Kuren Rain to death in a Rock County home earlier this month. So the complaint started that Oniski had called non-emergency number of the Rock County Communications Center on March 20th and told dispatchers she had murdered her daughter the previous night and then attempted suicide. During the approximately 13-minute call, she said that she killed her daughter to protect her from somebody else. And then it was reported that she later admitted that the person that she was protecting her for was Elon Musk, the billionaire businessman and former senior advisor to President Donald Trump. So when the dispatch asked if an ambulance should be sent to the scene, she allegedly responded, "Well, she's dead, honey. She needs a hearse." The officers who responded to the home found a knife and a sheath near her daughter's body, and she had suffered multiple stab wounds. Oniski had a deep cut on her neck as well as cuts on both her wrist and cheek. Her left foot was stained with what appeared to be blood, and partial bloody footprints were observed inside the home. And at the hospital, her blood tested positive for benzodiazepines, amphetamines, and THC, according to the complaint. So it was also reported that while she was hospitalized, she enthusiastically asked a deputy if her name was in the news and was disappointed to find out that it was not. Yeah,
But
I think
how
she's a little
crazy is
crazy.
this? Like, yeah, it's like, oh, Elon's after you. I better kill you.
To save you from him. Did she think that he was going to try to impregnate her daughter? Because she only seems to be interested in Jewish women.
I mean, that is a very feminine mindset because like a guy would be like, oh, someone's after you? Well, they're shit out of luck. But like a woman's like, oh,
Let's kill
life's
a
gonna
baby.
be hard for you. Let's kill. Yeah.
You're going to war with the Viltrumites? Better kill a baby. Oh, man. So the 7 Noahide laws are recognized in the United States as a foundational universal moral code acknowledged by Congress and presidential proclamation as an essential to civilization. They are often promoted as a standard for ethical conduct, stemming from Jewish traditions and applying to all humanity rather than just Jewish people. Legal and formal recognition in the United States, the Congress recognized them in 1991. Public law in 102-14, originally House Resolution 104, stated that The United States was founded upon these ethical principles, known as the Seven Noahide Laws, noting that their weakening threatens the fabric of society. So, Education Day, USA, President George H.W. Bush, following earlier proclamation, honored Rabbi Menahem Mendel Schneerson, a major proponent of these laws in the Lubavitch movement, for promoting these principles by designating Election Day, USA, in 1989 and 1990. The symbolic importance of these laws are viewed as a bedrock of principles designed to maintain a just, orderly, and ethical society. So the seven Noahide laws are generally categorized as negative commandments prohibiting specific acts. The first one,
That's because I'm looking at them. Our government's going against quite a few of them. But go ahead.
yeah. So one of them is do not curse God. It's like anti-blasphemy, basically. Do not worship idols, which prohibits idolatry, which we see people putting up statues of Baphomet and Satan all the time. This is do not murder, protect human life. Well, that's kind of like a given. Do not engage in illicit sexual relations. Well, our government can't stop doing that.
all those pride parades. Excuse me.
Prohibits incest, adultery, and homosexual relationships. I think our Congress is actually promoting some of that stuff. And I think J.P. Morgan does too. If you get to work under a certain woman. Do not steal. Prohibits robbery and theft. Do not eat a limb of a still living animal. So I'm guessing you just don't eat the meat of an animal that hasn't been killed. I mean, I'm assuming what that means.
Yes. So context back in the day, because they didn't have food preservation. So what a lot of civilizations would do, they would just slice a bit off an animal, and I think they would cauterize it, but I don't know about that part. But still, they would slice a bit off the animal and keep it alive, and then just eat the meat they cut off. Because if you kill the whole animal, you have a lot of meat, and you might not go through it all before it all spoils.
That makes sense, but that sounds so cruel.
Mhm.
Was there a certain area that was practiced in, or something like that?
It was definitely around where the Levine and the Middle East area. That's where I know for sure where it's practiced. Outside of that, I don't know.
So it focuses on respect for life and preventing cruelty to the animals. They establish courts of justice and mandates a just legal system to maintain law and order. Now, the context in America is proponents being the Chabad Lubavitch movement had been central to promoting awareness of these laws within U.S. and worldwide. These laws are frequently cited in discussions regarding the need for public morality, law and order, ethical, rather than religious requirements that can be shared by all citizens. These Noahide laws are not just implemented as criminal statutes in America's secular law, but they serve as a framework for moral and ethical education promoted at the federal level. So now here's the key conspiracy theories about this. The beheading narrative is that more prominent theory claims that because some interpretations of these laws classify worship as Jesus as idolatry, Christians will eventually be subject to beheading. Now, proponents of this theory often point at Public Law 104-14 as a legal trigger for this supposed future execution. The Antichrist New World Order. Some theories suggest that the Noahide laws are part of a satanic agenda, or precursor to the rise of the Antichrist. Now, this narrative positions itself that these laws will be used by a secret one-world government to force people to deny their faith or face certain death.
Well, you kind of already see a bit of a precursor to this in Canada, because just recently, they just passed a law where their hate speech laws and all that no longer exempt reading of religious texts. So if you read certain verses from the Bible, you now fall under their hate speech laws. Mm-hmm.
So the Zionist domination of the protocols, many of these claim are linked to Protocols of the Elders of Zion. They forged anti-Semitic texts from 1903 that falsely claimed Jews had a secret plan for world domination. Modern theories often recycle these tropes by claiming the Noahide laws are a tool for a messianic Zionist project. Sharia law connections. Some French theories were attempting to link the Noahide laws with Sharia law, claiming crypto-Jews are posing as Muslims to establish a global legal system that merges the two faiths. Debunking the claims. Now, experts and fact checkers from organizations like the Anti-Defamation League and religious scholars highlight several key facts to counter these theories. There's no legal enforcement of the Noahide laws, and there's no standing in U.S. criminal or civil courts. Federal recognition is purely symbolic and educational. There's no mandate for violence, so there's no modern Jewish or Noahide authority advocating for the use of capital punishment or violence against other faiths. There's a compatibility with monotheism. Many Jewish scholars view Christianity and Islam as monotheistic and consistent with Noahide principles rather than as idolatry. The U.S. Constitution's First Amendment provides a legal barrier against enforcement of any kind of religious code over another. Now, Chabad Lubavitch is one of the largest, most visible movements within Hasidic Judaism, a branch of the Orthodox Judaism. Combines a deep mystical teaching with an unusually strong emphasis on public outreach to Jews around the world. And so, Origins of the Meanings it was founded in the late 18th century in Eastern Europe by Rabbi Shneur Solomon or Layadi. The name Chabad was an acronym from Hebrew, so Shema means wisdom, Bina means understanding, Da'at means knowledge, and Lubavitch returns to the town in the present-day Belarus or Russia, where the movement was based for over a century. Chabad follows traditional Orthodox Jewish law, but adds a strong emphasis on mysticism and intellect combined, rooted in Tanya, their central philosophical work, personal spiritual refinement, bringing Jews closer to Judaism, regardless of their level of observance. They believe that every Jew has a divine spark, that small religious acts like lighting Shabbat candles or putting on the tefillin have cosmic significance. What makes them unique is it's best known for the massive outreach network. So there's thousands of these centers are called Shabbat houses in over 100 countries. They're found in places where you wouldn't expect. So they would be like college campuses, remote cities, or even tourist spots. They provide holiday celebrations, educational programs, kosher food and services, and community support. So their emissaries are called shluchim, and they often move with their families to far-flung locations to serve local Jewish communities. The most influential modern leader was Menachem Mendel Schneerson from 1902 to 1994, known simply as the Reb. He transformed Chabad into a global movement, emphasizing outreach, education, and modern technology. Many followers saw him as a potential messiah, a belief that's still held by some today. The Chabad teachings blend Jewish law, which is halakha, mysticism, which is the Kabbalah, and rational thought and psychology. The practices include daily prayer and Torah study, the observance of the Sabbath and kosher laws, community engagement, and charity. Now, there's some controversies and misconceptions. Some people think Shabbat is sometimes misunderstood due to the visibility and influence. Messianic beliefs, often among a minority of followers. Conspiracy theories, especially online, which are not grounded in credible evidence. And in simple terms, it's a Hasidic Jewish movement focused on spiritual growth and outreach, known for helping Jews connect to their identity anywhere in the world. And at the heart of the Chabad Lubavitch is a system that blends the Kabbalah and intellectual analysis. Made a guidebook is a Tanya written by, Rabbi Shneur Zalman of Liadi, and it teaches that every person has two souls: a divine soul seeking connection to God, and an animal soul driven by ego and survival. Now, some people are claiming that they also believe that the Goy or the Goyim do not have the divine soul. They're just equipped with the animal soul, and that's why they believe that they should lead over us. Life is refining yourself and aligning with the divine. The key mystical ideas are that God is everywhere, a concept sometimes described as divine immanence. The physical world hides spiritual reality, but also reveals it when used properly. Small actions like blessing or a good deed can elevate reality itself. One of the central ideas is the goal of creation is to make a dwelling place for God in the lowest world. In plain terms, transform everyday life into something spiritually meaningful. They believe in a coming Messiah, Messiah, consistent with traditional Judaism. Many followers believe that Menachem Mendel Schneerson could be that figure. A minority still believe that he is a Messiah and he will return. This is also somewhere confusing, and conspiracy theories start coming out for it. The Chabad is extremely organized but not secretive in the way people imagine. The Shluchim system, or emissaries, are sent worldwide, usually a married couple, and they run local centers. So this is kind of, I guess, like missionary work, I'm assuming. When people are trying to spread the gospel. And they help Jews practice Judaism. They build community anywhere, and there's no rigid corporate structure like a multinational company. Each center is locally ran and founded, and they all share the same teachings, a strong identity tied to the Rebbe, and informal coordination and support networks. They're funded mostly by local donations, some support from larger Shabbat organizations, and they often operate like grassroots nonprofits. Now, why they seem to be everywhere is they prioritize presence over scale, and even small populations may get a Shabbat center. And this global reach can look unusual, but it's the result of a deliberate outreach philosophy, not hidden in control structures. Some online theories say that it's trying to trigger the end times, or working to install a global religious figure, sometimes framed as the Antichrist, secretly influencing world governments. The reality is there's no credible evidence supporting these claims, and it usually comes from misunderstanding beliefs about the Messiah, mixing Jewish concepts with Christian ideas like the Antichrist, which according to them does not exist in Judaism. General conspiracy framework about global control was that their Messiah is a human leader. He brings peace and knowledge of God and restoration of Israel. The Christian Antichrist is a deceptive and evil figure opposing of Christ, and these are two completely different concepts. Now, why it's usually targeted is because there's a few reasons. It's highly visible and global. People have strong internal belief systems, and some followers Messianic enthusiasm about the Rebbe. General tendency for conspiracy theories to focus on groups with a long historical pattern. Now, the bottom line is that some of these mystical teachings are about personal transformation and making the world more spiritual. Their global network is mission-driven outreach and not hidden governance. The end times Antichrist narratives are conspiracy theories without factual basis, based on mixing religious ideas that don't belong together. Now, there is talk that Trump is God's anointed, and that the current war with Iran is to bring about the return of Christ. Now, there was religious language that's being used publicly, and some political and religious figures supporting Donald Trump have framed the Iran conflict in biblical or spiritual terms, and reports are saying the war has been described by allies as a struggle between good and evil, and even linked to a prophecy. So this is just rhetoric and not an official doctrine, but it's real and has been documented. So allegations about military speeches. There are reported complaints, but not fully verified across units, that some say the U.S. commanders told troops that the war was part of God's plan, is connected to Armageddon and the return of Christ. One complaint claims that a commander said that Trump was anointed by Jesus to start events leading to the second coming of, Jesus. These reports come largely from Military Religious Freedom Foundation, which is a watchdog group, individual service member complaints, and it's important to know that these allegations and complaints are not confirmed or widespread policy, and some lawmakers have even called for investigation into this behavior. So what the U.S. government officially says is publicly, they stated reasons for the war are things like countering Iran's military nuclear capabilities, strategic control, and regional security. There's no official government position saying that the war is to trigger the return of Christ and Trump is divinely appointed in a religious sense. So why this rhetoric is happening is because it comes from a specific belief system within some Christian groups. The end times prophecy thinking that some evangelical groups' interpretations of the book of Revelations include a major Middle East conflict, which would be Armageddon, and the return of Christ. A subset of believers may view modern conflicts like Iran and Israel fighting as part of a prophecy, or interpret political leaders as playing roles in that timeline, but it's one interpretation among many, even within Christianity. So, what is important is that some individuals, including a few reported military figures and religious leaders, are using apocalyptic religious language that has raised serious concerns and criticism even among other Christians. Now, what is not supported by evidence is a coordinated government or military plan to trigger the end times. An official doctrine that Trump is literally chosen to bring in the return of Christ, and any verification connected between this rhetoric and groups like Chabad Lubavitch. So, speaking of Bluetooth-controlled sex toys, you can support Van Rollington research into AI at patreon.com/vanrollington.com. You can also support our tribe at ko-fi.com/Atomic Shaman Sweat Lodge. You can gain access to the Discord to meet others that enjoy true crime, the paranormal, cryptids, and weird news. You can support the show at streamlabs.com/Atomic Shaman Sweat Lodge/tip. You can PayPal me at paypal.me/Atomic Shaman. You can buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/Atomic Shaman. And you can buy cryptid swag at tpublic/Atomic Shaman Trading Post. You can follow us on Twitter at Motel and RV Park. You can follow us on Instagram, and you can write to us at Atomic Shaman Sweat Lodge at protonmail.com. We're going to go on a little 10-minute break, and we'll come back with some data that the viewers have provided us. Stay tuned.
I'm in Ulaanbaatar, the capital city of Mongolia. It's the 20th of April, and about to meet a group of people that celebrate this date every year because it's Hitler's birthday. This is a very important day for you, isn't it?
네. өнөөдөр их чухал өдөр бид Монголын үндэсрэг үзэгднүүдийн одоо баяр гэж хийж болох.
Well, if it's okay with you, can we ride with you and we can hear about what your ideology is?
Болно ч өдөр Монгол бол ерөнхийдөө хэлдэг шүү дээ. Зочин эрэхтэй хүнтэй идэмсэг байх юм бол бид идэмсэг байж чадна. Хэрвээ тэд их оронд нь ирээд буруу харьцууд бид бас буруу харьцна. Энэ л. Тийм учраас энэ чөлөөтэй.
They are celebrating the event with a motorcade through the capital. Other members in the parade are now arriving. I'm shocked by that. Often in this job you talk about what you're going to experience before you experience it, and this is one of those moments where it is more surreal than I can ever have imagined. I'm in Mongolia and I'm with people dressed up as SS stormtroopers. After decades of communist rule, Mongolia became a democracy just over 20 years ago. What had been a police state became much more liberal, with free elections and an independent police force. But I'm still surprised that this demonstration of Nazi hatred is allowed to go ahead. We're about to parade through the major street. It's called Peace Avenue to celebrate Hitler's birthday.
Good morning. You may remember there were multiple reports of Bigfoot sightings here in Ohio last week. But what you might not know is that the Buckeye State ranks 4th nationwide for sightings.
And here to shed some light on the situation is Snake the Bigfoot Hunter. Good morning. How are you?
You guys are in the middle of the storm. I mean, bam, there's a Bigfoot, bam, there's a Bigfoot, and then a comet.
Yeah.
I mean, what is going
there
on?
any
We don't know what's
correlation?
happening.
Do you think?
Well, it's really strange, don't you? I mean,
yeah, I mean, who knows? What I always say is, why don't we find any of these Bigfoot bodies? If there is Bigfoot, why haven't we found a body? But you have recently told me that I see a picture here of a body.
yeah, well, you know, there are not many of them. Okay?
Yeah.
And they do not create family units, so they're very nomadic.
Okay.
They have adapted to be a scavenger lifestyle. So in a lot of the places these people typically hunt for Bigfoot by like going into certain terrain is the wrong terrain. Like I found my body in a marshy area, and that's an area where you get rapid decomposition, okay? So you just have to be willing to go to the places most people do not want to go.
Right.
How did you get into this?
Well, I got permanently online and started looking at a lot of YouTube videos, and I
Okay.
got lost in the rabbit hole of it all.
It
And
happens to a lot of people.
And right around then, my first marriage started falling apart, and I slowly started going more into the woods looking for Bigfoot.
Right.
And you know, there's the divorce. Divorce happened. And then I found the body. And it was just desserts. I'm like, look at this. Who's right now? You know, it was one of the craziest periods of my life.
But why?
We're here at the Gooniversary. It's been 1 year since Nautica Malone in this very parking spot. Let's talk to some of these obviously sad mourners. What's up?
What does Goonie mean to you guys?
What does it mean to you?
Well, on the way here, we were listening to the radio because our phones died. It was Michael Jackson, so we were Mike Jacking it on the way up, and then we realized it was Beat It. And that's when we realized, like, the spirit of the Goonerl is really all around us.
Why would you say you're here, though? What
to pay my respects to the Goonerl.
To Nautica?
Yeah, Nautica Malone, the Goonerl himself, you know.
Are you here ironically or sincerely?
You know, a little bit of both.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
Nautica. This is the I Can't Goon poster honoring Nautica Malone, who was, you know, unfortunately put into a situation where he had to kill himself. That video was published and spread around. You know, it led to all this happening, and that's completely unfair, and we need retribution.
You know, in the Gooniverse, you have, you know, Gooners, and he's a hero to some and maybe a villain to others, but...
What does he do you?
He's a symbol of hope for Gooners.
I covered myself up today just in case.
That was gonna happen.
I was going to wear my bikini, but I thought, I don't want to risk it.
You are going to be safe, but do not let the camera go off of you at any time.
What do you mean by that?
It is a level 10 goon sanctuary out there. We have some elite gooners. We have some people that are on the underground rankings coming up.
You think they're going to goon to me?
This is like, you know, XXL every year. These are the gooner XXLs, like freshmen. These guys are up next.
I goon every day and I can't stop gooning. I fight for my right to goon. I got channel 5 on my right and they're talking about gooning. I'm about to goon on the camera and that one and that one. I'm about to goon everywhere. I can't tell if I'm about to goon or not because all I do is goon.
Armenian genocide, the Palestinian conflict, Iran war, bombing the U.S. bases in Saudi Arabia is a giant transmutation circle, bro. It's a giant transmutation circle, bro. They're gonna turn the entire to the Middle East into philosopher's stones for Netanyahu.
Your cell phone, your wallet, your time, your ideas, no barcode, no party, no ID, no beers, your bank card, your license, your thoughts, your fears, no SIM card, no disco, no photo, not here, your blood, your sweat, your passions, your regrets, your profits, your time off, your fashions, your sex, your pills, your grass, your tits, your ass, your laughs, your balls, we want your soul. Your house, your home, your life, your cash, your house, your phone. We want your soul. Your house, your home, your life, your cash, your house, your phone. We want your soul. Tell us your habits, your fads, your fears. Give us your address, your shoe size, your years, your digits, your plans, your number, your eyes, your schedule, your desktop, your details, your life. Show us your children, your photos, your home. Here, take credit, take insurance, take a loan. Get a job, get a pension, get a haircut, get a suit. Playing the lottery, play football, play the field, snort some toot. We'll show you free, we'll show you food, we'll buy you drinks, throw away your food. We'll sell you crap, we'll charge you that. Wanna buy big guns, we'll want the cash. Your soul, your house, your home, we want your soul. Your house, your home, we want your soul. Your house, your home, we want your soul. Your house, your home, we want your thoughts, your emotions, your love, your dreams, your checkbook, your essence, your sweat, your screams, your security, your sobriety, your innocence, your society, yourself, your place, your distance, your space.
Go back to bed, America. Your government is in control again. Here, watch this. Shut up. You are free to do as we tell you. You are free to do as we tell you.
Do you miss that old school vibe? Mad Scribe magazine is dedicated to reviving the classic gaming and pop culture experience. Inside every issue, you'll find exclusive interviews with some of the biggest names in tabletop gaming. There are game reviews, adventures, indie comics, cosplay pinups, short stories, and a whole lot of attitude. It's like a love letter to your weird, geeky youth. Grab a copy in print or PDF wherever books are sold. Mad Scribe magazine, old school heart, new school hustle. With Mad Scribe, every issue is a critical success.
Are you a targeted individual? Have you had a paranormal encounter, or are the victim of an unregulated government experiment and would like to share your story with us? Would you like to send us some fan mail or a hate-filled rant? Do you have an idea for a future episode or wish to send a complaint to HR? Email us at atomicshaman@protonmail.com. Like, share, subscribe and be sure to check the notification bell. Follow the Atomic Shaman on Twitter at Motel and RV Park. Listen to Paranormal Green Text Stories on Atomic Shaman TTS on YouTube. Catch the live streams of Atomic Shaman Sweat Lodge only on Rumble.
And we're back in live again. So, did you find the poll data, Luffy?
Yeah.
What do the people have to say?
Let's. Oh, come on. Okay, so first of all, all right. Second, my mic was being a little weird. Well, I have the people spoken on the theft of the 12 tons of Kit Kats. Relevant to what we talked about with the recent theft of 12 tons of Kit Kats. Who do you think stole it? And this was like very unanimous. They all thought that Arthur Slugworth took it, and nobody thought that gypsies, migrants, or the Italian mafia took it.
It really sounds like something out of Willy Wonka, and I would have to go with the people on that one as well.
Yeah, I mean, this is the one time where I'm like, yep, the people are right.
So what's our next?
Next, let's see what people say about. Have you ever attempted Stephen Greer's CE5 meditation to summon UFOs or orbs?
So CE5 stands for Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind. That's just an abbreviation.
Okay, so this would be like the psychic connections and all that.
Well, I think it'd be a physical manifestation of the people that fly the craft as the fifth kind. I think the third kind is just seeing a craft. The second kind is seeing evidence of a craft. So that would be like if there were scorch marks in the ground or like imprints in the ground from landing. A first kind would just be see the UFO in the sky. I believe. I used to have these memorized. I don't anymore. It's been a while.
Yeah, all I know is like the movie Encounter the Third Kind, but on this vote, only one person voted, and they said they're like me. They're like, what is CE5?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty like it doesn't make sense that he calls it that, but he just calls it CE5 medication. like this particular brand, because he gives courses on this. So like, you can pay like about what I think $2,500 or $3,500. No, it's like $2,500 for a whole week seminar to learn how to meditate and summon UFOs and orbs. That's like one of his grifts.
That's
And then I think he had a $30-something thousand cruise that you could go with him where they would summon UFOs or some bullshit. And it's like, who the fuck's got money to like blow on shit like that?
I'm gonna get a lot of like art hoes who are in wealthy families that don't have anything better to do. Like the girls who like those influencers who spend like tens of thousands of dollars to go to like what is it, like Coachella?
Yeah. Or they're getting a Reiki cleanse or something. Because like I think he was recently seen with Demi Lovato, which claims that she can counter like I guess aliens and stuff out in Joshua Tree.
Oh yeah. It's always in like desert area. What is with it? Okay. I don't get the appeal of the desert.
You get the open skies in the desert, so you're most likely going to see something in the sky that you want.
I'm just of the thing is like, if I go to some world, I'm going to be like going to like the forest and like interesting areas, not like, oh, this is a barren wasteland. Let me just chill here.
You got to think like a barren wastelands where the government's going to want to test their aircraft where no one's at. So.
Yep. Hey, next poll. Which scenario is worse, seeing an unknown entity or being watched by an unknown entity? And this was a 50-50 split on it. I think, as a Christian myself, I know I'm being watched by entities, so that really doesn't concern me. But like knowing like all the encounters of like seeing unknown entities, and everyone's like the first thing they say is like, do not be afraid. I would say it's like seeing the unknown would be like way more scary.
Yeah, when I mean the unknown, it's like something you just can't identify by looking at it. It's like, it's like seeing something that, well, this is beyond seeing a cryptid, and I don't know what I'm looking at. A transdimensional being or some other planar, something. It could be demonic or maybe it's not. And you don't know how to react to it. And I don't know.
Yeah, I would still say seeing the unknown, because then if it's something like way above me, it's wanting you to see it,
and
instead of just casually observing you.
Yeah, I believe if you see it, it knows, and it's probably wanting to like feed off of your reaction, like some things that they say feed off your your negative emotions. Like you seeing it gives it fear to feed off of.
Yeah, it's like that, like the movie Robert Muldoon situation where it's like, okay, I see you. What trick are you playing, clever girl? Hey, next poll. Targeted individuals have long been victims of electronic harassment. Which is the worst scenario, being spied on by the government or non-human intelligence? So the options were watched by the feds, watched by aliens, or watched by AI. And like we had another one that was like, everyone said watched by the feds. And I would disagree, because like watched by the feds, I mean they're humans, whatever. I would say like watched by AI would be like the most like
I think eventually the feds are going to use AI to watch you, but like I can see why people don't want to be watched by the feds, because it's a waste of taxpayer dollars, especially if you're not doing anything.
Yeah.
The reason I got this poll was I was going through Reddit, and one of the targeted individuals in there was claiming that non-human intelligence was spying on them, and it was like really annoying them because they couldn't do anything about it. And I'm just like, okay, this is some next level schizo shit. I'm down for this. Getting this story out there so people can hear it.
Yeah, that. Wonder if he tapped anything, and like he started like knowing, and like didn't have like the foundational like understanding to be like, yeah, things beyond our understanding have always been watching us.
I just don't think I'm interesting enough person to be watched by aliens. Now AI is probably automatically watching me with like our fucking dank posts and memes that we push on.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
100%.
yeah, on social media and the people that we fight with verbally. So it's, I mean, I already know that the fans in the AI are probably watching me now, but not the aliens, you know.
I mean, yeah, AI is always watching us. That's why every
Or the
AI turns racist at some point if they don't have safeguards.
or the algorithm has to start suspending us or lowering viewer counts or, you know, making sure that we have less and less reach. But I've noticed that once I started putting videos up on Parlor Play, we started getting way more views. So I put a video down and we're getting like between like 400 and 700 views. And it's pretty interesting. I don't know if it's because we have less to compete with or their algorithm isn't souped up enough, you know. So I'm hoping we can bring in some more followers and viewers through that. I noticed we recently had a huge uptick of followers on through Spotify. Not exactly Spotify, but other, you know, websites that host our podcast. So a lot of people were coming in from like Brazil, and then like we have more people watching our show from Vietnam than we do in the United States. And we don't speak Vietnamese, so I'm gonna have to guess that all the people watching us in Vietnam are like retired
I don't
servicemen living as
speak tree people.
yeah. These got to be like retired servicemen or, you know, guys that are expats, you know, like living the dream out there, you know, out in Da Nang in a really nice apartment complex for $700 a month. You know, that's assuming who our new audience is that found us. We also I forgot to talk about, there was some recent cryptid news. Luffy, do you have that information on this recent attack by dogmen in Oklahoma?
Yes, I have quite a few. So I'll read like a few articles because I'll read a couple from when the incident happened and a couple from the outcome of it all. So let me get my tabs all situated. So I'm going to be selecting a local one first, and this one's like from like Pittsburgh County. Um, A McAllister mother is clinging to life at a Tulsa hospital following a brutal attack by an unknown animal that investigators said is unlike anything they've seen in over 30 years. Alyssa Maxey has been found seriously injured on Sunday morning in a remote yard near Blanco. While her family initially believed a dog was responsible, the sheer scale of the injuries has prompted the Pittsburgh County Sheriff's Office to bring in wildlife experts to solve the mystery of what animal attacked Alicia. According to investigators, Alicia had pulled into a nearby driveway. She was found roughly an hour later by the homeowner, an EMT, who immediately began life-saving measures until a medical helicopter could arrive. In 38 years, I've never been involved or seen anything to this extent as far as injuries caused by a wild animal, said the Pittsburgh County Sheriff. The sheriff office is now working with Oklahoma Wildlife Services to identify the animal. Evidence, including the clothing ripped from the victim, has been sent to the lab for DNA testing to see if the attacker was a dog, a bear, or a mountain lion. And she gave small details while she was in the hospital, saying that she heard while she was like pulling up to the gate before hearing a deep growl, and then something just pounced on her back and knocked her to the ground. She says it was like dog-like, is what she described. She didn't say anything. And then more going into it. Let's look into. There we go. Every Oklahoma. This is from like their like radio station, the local radio station. So every Oklahoman loves a good tale. Our society tends to run on a Bigfoot sightings, ghost lights, haunted bridges, lake monsters. If it lives in the woods, somebody will swear they've seen it at least once. And then if you've been down like Google rabbit hole, you know a healthy relationship with the internet. This legend flows from North Texas to southern Oklahoma, mostly among the tinfoil hat clubs, but the creature gets described as a giant upright canine, part wolf, part man. Normally this is where the stories stop, but then they go into details about like the the attack that I just read and all that. They go on like some say it was a mountain lion that was like stalking her and attacked her. Because like in that area, wildlife officials confirm sightings all the time in that part of Oklahoma. And they've even confirmed that Oklahoma is part of the big cat reproductive cycle. So they like will go in that area to have their kid, well, not kids, but like their kittens and all that.
So does she have like physical wounds on her, like scratches or
Yeah,
something?
like in one of these, she's on the in one of the pictures, like in the hospital, like she's on a respirator and all that. Like her legs are like all bandaged up, and like you can see like some stains on the bandages. So like a lot of seeping from the wounds. Her face is like mangled. Like her, which side is it? Her left cheek is. It almost looks like there's a skin graft on it, but it's like all mangled and all that. Like from her cheekbone down, looks like it was like torn off and all that.
So
Her arms are all bandaged up.
I don't believe that Dogman has retractable claws, so I would just assume they're just like regular dog claws. You know, they're there, but they don't. You know, they're not really using them as a tool to like take their prey down.
Yeah, and the thing is, how cats hunt, they'll go after the jugular. So they really wouldn't be going after the legs and the arms like that. That is very much canine behavior because like the canines will like basically like lacerate you and let you bleed out or like pin you down, really. While cats will like they'll go after the jugular to either like sever your spinal cord or to suffocate you. So this is definitely not looking like
So it's not cat behavior.
cat. It is definitely not looking like a cat attack going by like how they normally hunt. So like this is definitely canine attacks. Now, we do have an update from just like about a week ago, and they took like DNA samples from the cloths, and they even took like DNA samples from the neighbor's dog. And they're saying that they are not saying that. Well, they're saying that they can roll out a wild animal because apparently they're saying it's a domestic dog, even though they took samples from the neighbor's dog. It's not a DNA match, though. They have.
I was
not
wondering if the
confirmed-
neighbor had a pit bull, because I was thinking, okay, we could put this together.
Yeah, well, see, in like all the articles that I've found from it, they just confirm that it's canine DNA, but but I'm not seeing any confirmation that it is the neighbor's dog, which if it was the neighbor's dog, they would confirm that. And like, yeah, they collected DNA from 2 or 3 dogs, and all they're saying is like, it has matches to the DNA, so they're
rolling out
definitely
that it's
rolled
not a
out
mountain lion.
bear and mountain lion. So they're just saying like, oh, it has canine DNA, so it's a domestic dog, without confirming like what kind of dog it is, because like you can DNA test for that.
I guess it depends on how much money they want to spend on the test.
Yeah, that is true. But yeah, so far all we know it is like confirmed canine DNA, which again strongly suggests like I would say dogman, because like that is weird, just like being right there in that little like isolated area where they're at. And also like the homeowner has been like super silent about all the incidents and all that. There's still a lot of like weird stuff that's surrounding this.
I know there was supposedly a turf war going on with dogman attacks. Like not attacks, but there's supposedly a turf war between the dogman and the Bigfoot in the Thicket National Park in Texas. And so I haven't heard more talk about it, but I heard that there's supposedly a turf war going on there. and they're fighting each other.
I would not be surprised.
There was a
by
famous
that.
incident where some people were claiming that their house was under siege by a pack of dogmen. And I'm trying to look it up. It might have been Louisiana. I guess there was other attacks in Louisiana. The land between lakes, where there was I guess they call it the Beast of LBL between Kentucky and Tennessee, where they're saying campers are experiencing torn tets and seeing large upright canine creatures. I'm trying to look at the siege.
Yeah, and I'm looking at like a bit of like the Bigfoot and Dogman, and like a lot of people suspect, well, if you go for the whole natural route, then yeah, they're just two competing creatures for the same resources because they like heavily wooded areas, and like they would be going after the same prey, like deer and all that. But also, like they're saying that like Bigfoot is like a guardian and all that, while Dogman is the more
opposite?
malicious.
Yeah, so they were talking about other cases in Mississippi and Tennessee. So it might have been the Mississippi one I'm thinking of, where this family, like, they boarded up their first floor, and these dogmen were like, they could jump real high, and these guys were like fending off their property from like the roof or whatever. They had multiple guns and stuff, and they were just an onslaught. You know, it was almost like one of those horror movies where they're holding out, for time or something as they're running out of ammo and shit. But that was like the only case I heard of a pack of dogmen attacking a home versus like the Michigan dogman, where it's just seen by itself, or the Beast of Bray Road kind of thing.
Yeah.
With that, with our show's over. We don't have much else to talk about. Probably won't start on next episode until probably next weekend, because I've talked about all the weird stuff that's happened recently in the news, and I'll just have to find more articles and stuff, to get that whole first half of the show ready. But we have other episodes planned out in advance, and hopefully Van can join us next time, because it just sounds a bit too quiet, and we don't have our celebrity guest or our mugshotties to play Pass and Smash with.
Don't have all those sound bites and all that.
Yeah. Clipping this episode is probably going to be like one of the more boring sounding episodes. So with that, I'll go ahead and play us out. Goofy, did you have anything you wanted to show? Were you going to do any streaming or anything like that coming up?
Nope, but I mean, so planning on working on that, because with a tax refund and I'm looking at a bonus from work coming in pretty soon, that'll be a fat check. So I'm looking to upgrade my rig, and when I do that, I might be looking into starting streaming or some other stuff. So yeah, so hopefully I can get all that situated and working.
Well, when that happens, we'll go ahead and promote it and get it out there so people can watch you. And with that, I'll go ahead and play us out.
Homie, watch out. The feds are plotting now, they knocking like they locked out. Not now, I'm busy. Your door get knocked down, drop trial, showing y'all the proper way to rock out. I know how this goes, looking through the crystal. Everybody hates me and it's every day the list grows. Beat around the bush, yeah. I learned to tiptoe and stand against an army, plugging barrels with the pick rows. Look at who they follow, look at who you follow. If you want me, you can find me at the bottom of the bottle, in the corner of the room, or on the moon like Apollo. For fuck's sake, the earth is not flat, it's hollow, and there's Nazis in it. Shit, if that's true, you're probably gonna find me in it, vibing while we fry Hasidics, ashes in the sky's the limit. I'm just rhyming with it. This is my demented mind, and y'all just climbed up in it. Every now and then I can get retarded. People nowadays just getting me started. You don't like it, you can beg my pardon. Come and watch the world burn at my party. Every now and then I can get retarded. People nowadays just getting me started. You don't like it, you can beg my pardon. Come and watch the world burn know who they is, but recognizing patterns nowadays is fucking dangerous. Just ask Trevor Noah, he could tell your heads are rolling. It's bloody paradise, like a bunch of dead Samoans. Join me on the balcony, you niggas gotta see this shit. I crossed the line like fucking Trump in North Korea, bitch, yo. LA's on fire, won't somebody get the chief on the wire? Nope. Cause don't nobody care. I fucking love the smell of burning plastic in the air. I give not a fuck. I found the first mosque and shot it up. Rolled down the window in the truck and yelled Muhammad sucks. Ooh, I'm so edgy, I just cut myself. Bitch, I never leave a damn crib if I could fuck myself. Call me all them names, go ahead, it's the basics. I drop these bars and hit the bar up in a spaceship. Every now and then I can get retarded. People nowadays just getting me started. You don't like it, you can beg my pardon. Come and watch the world burn at my party. Every now and then I can get retarded. People nowadays just getting me started. You don't like it, you can beg my pardon. Come and watch the world burn at my party.